Becky Liddon, I'm founder of Sensory Spectacle. This video is part of a series where I'm answering your questions about sensory processing difficulties. I've been given questions from parents and professionals, and it's all to help create a better understanding and awareness of sensory processing difficulties. Share the videos with your friends and families and colleagues, but also subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you don't miss any. So there are three main ways that we can recognise sensory processing difficulties. We may well recognise difficulties with modulation. Modulation means the amount of information that someone is processing. So commonly the terms that we're familiar with are seeking and avoiding characteristics. So seeking is where someone's body requires extra sensory input, and so their natural response to their environment is to give their body that input. So someone who needs that movement while they're learning, their body needs that movement in order to be able to organise all of those sensory messages so that they can focus on their work. Some people who are avoiders may well avoid sounds, they may well avoid visual input, so some people might wear sunglasses, may wear their hoods up, may wear hats to help to reduce the overhead glare around them. Other ways that we can recognise characteristics of sensory processing difficulties relate to discrimination. So discrimination in regards to our senses can be where a sensation has come from. So you may say a child's name and they may not respond immediately, respond by maybe lifting up their head and looking towards you, or recognising and reacting to the sound of their name. Other ways might be through the amount of force or pressure. So when I'm holding and playing with a toy, I might squeeze that toy really firmly, or when I'm walking, not knowing how much force and pressure to use. So you may find that I stomp around because I find it difficult to tell my muscles and my joints how much force and pressure I need. Another way that we can recognise sensory processing difficulties is through motor-based coordination, so the use of our muscles and our joints, and this mainly relates to dyspraxia. So these are the three main ways that we recognise sensory processing difficulties. Most commonly we will begin at recognising, so identifying characteristics relating to modulation difficulties, because that's what we're familiar with. As we become more confident in understanding what these characteristics mean, and you can learn more about that on our workshops, we can then start to differentiate and recognise, oh, maybe that's a difficulty with discrimination rather than modulation, and that's where we need to provide different elements of support in order to help someone to self-regulate.